The coin you are referring to is the United States Bicentennial $1 coin, a special issue created to celebrate 200 years of American independence. It carries the dual date 1776 to 1976, marking the time from the signing of the Declaration of Independence in 1776 to the bicentennial year 1976. This coin was produced by the United States Mint and is part of a larger commemorative coin series that also included special designs for the quarter and half dollar. The dollar coin is often called the Eisenhower Bicentennial Dollar because it continues the portrait of Dwight D. Eisenhower on the obverse front. His profile faces left, and surrounding it are the inscriptions Liberty, In God We Trust, and the dual date 1776 to 1976. The D mint mark on your coin indicates that it was minted in Denver Mint, one of the major U.S. minting facilities. On the reverse back side, the design is unique and different from the regular Eisenhower dollar. It features a depiction of the Liberty Bell superimposed over the moon, symbolizing both American independence and the nation's achievements in space exploration, especially the Apollo missions. The Liberty Bell itself is an iconic symbol located in Liberty Bell, associated with the American Revolution. Around this image are the words United States of America, $1, and the Latin motto E pluribus unum, which means out of many one, reflecting the unity of the original 13 colonies into a single nation. This reverse design was created by Dennis R. Williams, whose work was selected through a national competition. The Bicentennial Dollar was produced in large quantities for circulation, so most examples are not rare. They were minted in both copper-nickel clad for general circulation and in 40% silver versions, sold in special collector sets. If your coin is a standard circulating version with a D mint mark, it is typically made of copper-nickel and weighs about 22.68 grams. Because millions were produced, most circulated coins today are worth only slightly above face value, usually around $1 to $3, depending on condition. However, uncirculated coins, proof versions, or silver compositions can be worth more to collectors. The inscriptions on the coin carry important historical and philosophical meaning. Liberty represents the core value upon which the United States was founded. In God We Trust is the national motto, officially adopted in 1956, reflecting a historical expression of faith. E pluribus unum, used since the early days of the Republic, emphasizes unity among diversity. Together, these phrases reflect the ideals and identity of the nation. The dual date 1776 to 1976 is especially significant because it appears only on bicentennial coins. No regular coins were dated 1975, as all coins minted in 1975 and 1976 for this series bear the dual date instead. Historically, the bicentennial celebration was a major event across the United States, with parades, exhibitions, and patriotic displays. The coin program was part of this nationwide celebration, intended to remind citizens of the country's founding principles and achievements over 2 centuries. The choice to include the moon on the reverse reflects the pride of the United States in its technological progress, especially following the Apollo 11 moon landing, which symbolized a new era of exploration. In summary, your 1776 to 1976 D Mint Bicentennial $1 coin is a meaningful piece of American history rather than a highly valuable rarity. It represents a celebration of independence, unity, and progress, combining symbols from the Revolutionary era and the space age. While its monetary value may be modest, its historical and symbolic importance makes it a fascinating collectible and a reminder of the ideals that shaped the United States over its first 200 years. Next up. The 1971 United States $1 coin, commonly as the Eisenhower dollar, is an important piece of modern American coinage that marked a transition in both design and historical symbolism. It was issued by the United States Mint and was the first dollar coin produced for general circulation after a gap following the Peace Dollar series that ended in 1935. The coin prominently features the portrait of Dwight D. Eisenhower, who served as president from 1953 to 1961 and was also a 5-star general during World War II. His image appears on the obverse front of the coin, facing left, symbolizing leadership, strength, and stability during a crucial period in American and world history. Surrounding his portrait are the inscriptions Liberty at the top, In God We Trust to the left, and the year 1971 at the bottom. These inscriptions reflect the nation's core ideals: freedom, faith, and historical identity. The phrase "In God We Trust," which appears on the coin, has deep roots in American culture and became the official national motto in 1956. Its inclusion on coins began much earlier, during the Civil War era, as a reflection of the country's spiritual sentiments during times of crisis. Liberty, another prominent inscription, is one of the oldest and most consistent elements in U.S. coinage, symbolizing the foundational principle upon which the nation was built. On the reverse back side of the coin, you will find a striking design that depicts an eagle landing on the moon, clutching an olive branch. This design was inspired by the Apollo 11 mission insignia, directly connecting the coin to one of the most significant achievements in human history, the Apollo 11 moon landing. The eagle represents the United States, while the olive branch symbolizes peace, suggesting that America's technological power is balanced by peaceful intentions. Above the eagle are the words United States of America, and below it is the denomination $1. Encircling the design are stars representing the original 13 colonies. The motto E pluribus unum, meaning out of many one, is also inscribed on the reverse, reinforcing the idea of unity among the states. This phrase has been used on U.S. coins since the 18th century and remains a powerful statement about the country's formation from diverse colonies into a single nation. The design of the Eisenhower dollar was created by Frank Gasparo, who served as chief engraver of the United States Mint. The 1971 Eisenhower dollar was minted in two main compositions. Coins produced for general circulation were made of copper-nickel clad, giving them a silver-like appearance, but without significant intrinsic metal value. However, special collector versions were minted in 40% silver and sold in uncirculated and proof sets. These silver coins were not intended for everyday use, but rather for collectors and investors. The 1971 coin was produced at different mint facilities, including Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark, and Denver Mint, with a D mint mark. Proof coins were struck at the San Francisco Mint and carry an S mint mark. From a historical perspective, the introduction of the Eisenhower dollar in 1971 was significant because it honored both a respected president and the achievements of the U.S. space program. It also reflected a period when the United States was asserting itself as a technological and political leader during the Cold War era. Despite its symbolic importance, the coin was not widely used in everyday transactions due to its large size and weight, which made it inconvenient compared to paper currency. As a result, many of these coins were stored rather than circulated heavily, and they remain relatively common today. In terms of value, most 1971 Eisenhower dollars, found in circulated condition, are worth close to their face value, typically around $1 to a few dollars. However, coins in uncirculated condition, proof versions, or those made of 40% silver can be worth more, especially to collectors who specialize in modern U.S. coinage. The value can also increase depending on factors such as condition, rarity of specific varieties, and demand in the numismatic market. Overall, the 1971 United States $1 coin is more than just currency. It is a representation of American history, leadership, and achievement. Through its design and inscriptions, it tells a story of national pride, unity, and progress, connecting the legacy of Dwight D. Eisenhower with the groundbreaking accomplishments of the space age and the enduring values that define the United States. Next top. The 1972 D United States $1 coin, commonly known as the Eisenhower dollar, is a continuation of the large-sized dollar coins first introduced in 1971 by the United States Mint. This coin honors Dwight D. Eisenhower, one of the most significant military and political figures in American history, who served as Supreme Commander of Allied forces in Europe during World War II and later became the 34th President of the United States from 1953 to 1961. His portrait appears on the obverse front of the coin facing left, symbolizing calm leadership and authority. Surrounding his image are the inscriptions Liberty at the top, the national motto, In God We Trust to the left, and the year 1972 at the bottom. The presence of the letter D on your coin indicates that it was minted at the Denver Mint, one of the primary coin production facilities in the United States. The obverse design emphasizes core American ideals. Liberty is one of the most enduring inscriptions in U.S. coinage, representing the nation's foundational principle of freedom. In God We Trust, officially adopted as the national motto in 1956, reflects the historical influence of faith and moral guidance in American public life. Together, these inscriptions, along with Eisenhower's image, present a powerful message of unity, strength, and national identity during a time when the country was navigating the Cold War and advancing rapidly in science and technology. On the reverse backside, the 1972 Eisenhower dollar features a highly symbolic design created by Frank Gasparo, the chief engraver of the United States Mint. The design shows an eagle descending onto the surface of the moon while holding an olive branch, symbolizing peace. This imagery is directly inspired by the insignia of the historic Apollo 11 moon landing, the first successful manned mission to land humans on the moon in 1969. The eagle represents the United States, while the olive branch conveys a message that the nation's technological and military power is ultimately guided by peaceful intentions. Above the eagle are the words, United States of America, and below it is the denomination $1. Encircling the design are stars representing the original 13 colonies, emphasizing the unity and origin of the nation. The Latin motto E pluribus unum, meaning out of many one, is also included, reinforcing the idea that the United States was formed from diverse states and peoples into a single unified country. The 1972 Eisenhower dollar is particularly interesting to collectors because of the different varieties found in coins minted that year, especially those produced at the Philadelphia Mint, which have no mint mark. However, your D Mint coin from Denver is generally more uniform in design. These coins were struck in a copper-nickel-clad composition for circulation, giving them a silver-like appearance, but containing no actual silver. They weigh approximately 22.68 grams and have a diameter of 38.1 millimeters, making them one of the largest coins ever used in regular U.S. circulation. Although special 40% silver versions of Eisenhower dollars were produced, those were primarily minted in San Francisco and sold to collectors, not released into everyday circulation. Historically, the Eisenhower dollar series represents a unique period in American coinage. It was the last large-sized dollar coin intended for circulation before the introduction of smaller dollar coins like the Susan B. Anthony dollar in 1979. Despite its impressive size and symbolic design, the coin was not widely used in daily commerce because it was considered too and inconvenient compared to paper money. As a result, many of these coins were saved rather than circulated heavily, which is why they are still relatively common today. In terms of value, most 1972 D Eisenhower dollars in circulated condition are worth close to their face value, typically around $1 to a few dollars. Coins in uncirculated condition, with minimal wear and strong luster, may be worth more to collectors. Factors such as grading, rarity of specific varieties, though less relevant for Denver issues, and overall demand can influence the coin's market value. However, the true importance of the coin lies not in its monetary worth, but in its historical and symbolic meaning. Overall, the 1972 D United States $1 coin is a fascinating representation of American history, combining the legacy of Dwight D. Eisenhower with the achievements of the space age and the enduring values of liberty, unity, and faith. Through its inscriptions, Liberty, In God We Trust, and E Pluribus Unum, and its powerful imagery of the eagle landing on the moon, the coin tells a story of a nation that honors its past while reaching boldly toward the future that next hop. The 1977 D United States $1 coin, commonly known as the Eisenhower dollar, is part of the final years of the large-sized dollar coins issued for circulation by the United States Mint. This coin continues the design introduced in 1971 to honor Dwight D. Eisenhower, a highly respected leader in American history who served both as a five-star general during World War II and as the 34th President of the United States. His portrait appears on the obverse front of the coin, facing left, symbolizing dignity, strength, and leadership. Surrounding his image are the inscriptions "Liberty" across the top, "In God We Trust" placed to the left of his profile, and the year 1977 at the bottom. The letter D mint mark on your coin indicates that it was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the main production facilities responsible for circulating coinage in the United States. The obverse design reflects core American ideals that have been expressed on coinage for centuries. Liberty represents the foundational principle upon which the nation was built, symbolizing freedom, independence, and democratic values. "In God We Trust," the official national motto since 1956, reflects the historical and cultural influence of faith in American society. Together with Eisenhower's image, these inscriptions present a message of unity, moral strength, and national pride during a period when the United States was navigating both domestic challenges and global responsibilities in the later stages of the Cold War. On the reverse back side, the 1977 Eisenhower dollar features the same iconic design used throughout most of the series, created by Frank Gasparo, chief engraver of the United States Mint. The design shows a bald eagle descending toward the surface of the moon while clutching an olive branch, a powerful symbol of peace. This imagery was inspired by the insignia of the historic Apollo 11 moon landing, the first successful mission to land humans on the moon. The eagle represents the United States as a strong and capable nation, while the olive branch emphasizes peaceful intentions and diplomacy. Above the eagle are the words, "United States of America," and below it appears the denomination $1. Surrounding the design are stars representing the original 13 colonies, reinforcing the idea of unity among the states. The Latin motto "E pluribus unum," meaning out of many one, is also inscribed, highlighting the nation's formation from diverse peoples and regions into a single unified country. The 1977 D Eisenhower dollar was struck in a copper-nickel-clad composition intended for general circulation. Unlike earlier years of the series, such as 1971 to 1974, no 40% silver versions were produced for collectors in 1977. By this time, the Mint had discontinued silver-clad collector issues of Eisenhower dollars. The coin weighs approximately 22.68 grams and has a diameter of 38.1 millimeters, making it one of the largest coins ever used in everyday transactions in the United States. Despite its impressive size and symbolic design, the Eisenhower dollar was not widely popular in circulation because it was considered bulky and inconvenient compared to paper currency. As a result, many coins from this series, including the 1977 D, were saved rather than heavily used. Historically, the 1977 issue represents the closing phase of the Eisenhower dollar series, which ended in 1978. After that, the United States shifted to smaller dollar coins beginning with the Susan B. Anthony dollar in 1979, reflecting the need for more practical coinage. The Eisenhower dollar thus holds a unique place in numismatic history as the last large-sized dollar coin struck for circulation in the United States. In terms of value, most 1977 D Eisenhower dollars found in circulated condition are worth only slightly above face value, typically around $1 to a few dollars. Coins in uncirculated condition, with strong luster and minimal marks, may be more valuable to collectors. The value depends on factors such as condition, grade, demand, and overall preservation. However, the coin's true significance lies in its historical and symbolic meaning rather than its monetary worth. In summary, the 1977 D United States $1 coin is a meaningful representation of American history, leadership, and technological achievement. By combining the portrait of Dwight D. Eisenhower with imagery inspired by the Apollo 11 moon landing, and inscriptions such as "Liberty," "In God We Trust," and "E pluribus unum," the coin tells a story of a nation rooted in strong values while reaching toward progress and innovation. Although it may not be rare or highly valuable in financial terms, it remains an important collectible and a lasting symbol of the ideals and achievements of the United States during the 20th century. Next top. The coin you are describing as 1977 to 1976 is most likely a mix-up between two closely related U.S. dollar coins from the Eisenhower series, both issued by the United States Mint. In reality, there is no official United States $1 coin with both 1977 and 1976 together. Instead, there are two separate types: the 1976 Bicentennial Dollar, dated 1776 to 1976, and the regular 1977 Eisenhower Dollar, dated 1977 only. Understanding both will help clarify your coin. First, the 1776 to 1976 Bicentennial Dollar was created to celebrate 200 years of independence of the United States. Instead of a normal single-year date, it carries the dual date, 1776 to 1976. On the obverse front, it features the portrait of Dwight D. Eisenhower, with the inscriptions "Liberty" above, "In God We Trust" to the side, and the dual date below. The reverse back of this special coin is different from regular issues. It shows the Liberty Bell superimposed over the moon, symbolizing both American independence and the achievements of space exploration. The Liberty Bell refers to the historic symbol located in Liberty Bell, while the moon element reflects pride in accomplishments like the Apollo 11 moon landing. Around the design are the words "United States of America, $1," and the motto "E pluribus unum," which means out of many one. This coin was minted in very large numbers in 1975 and 1976, and no coins dated 1975 exist because all were struck with the dual date. Second, the 1977 Eisenhower Dollar is a regular issue coin that returned to the standard reverse design used in most years of the series. It again features Dwight D. Eisenhower on the obverse with "Liberty, in God We Trust," and the date 1977. On the reverse, it shows an eagle landing on the moon holding an olive branch, symbolizing peace and strength. This design is directly inspired by the insignia of the Apollo 11 moon landing. The inscriptions "United States of America, $1," and "E pluribus unum" appear around the eagle, along with stars representing the original 13 colonies. Unlike earlier years, the 1977 coins were produced only in copper-nickel clad for circulation, without silver collector versions. The inscriptions on both coins carry deep meaning. Liberty reflects the fundamental principle of freedom upon which the nation was founded. "In God We Trust," adopted officially in 1956, expresses a long-standing national motto tied to American cultural and historical identity. "E pluribus unum," used since the early formation of the country, emphasizes unity among diverse states and people. These phrases together represent the philosophical foundation of the United States and are consistently found on its coinage. In terms of minting, both the 1976 and $1,977 coins were produced at major facilities like the Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark, and the Denver Mint, with a D mint mark, while some bicentennial silver versions were made at the San Francisco Mint. These coins are large, with a diameter of 38.1 millimeters and a weight of about 22.68 grams, making them the last large-sized dollar coins used in U.S. circulation before smaller coins were introduced later. From a collector's point of view, both the 1776 to 1976 Bicentennial Dollar and the 1977 Eisenhower Dollar are generally common because they were minted in large quantities. Most circulated examples are worth close to face value, typically around $1 to a few dollars. However, coins in uncirculated condition, proof versions, or special silver compositions for the bicentennial issue may have higher value depending on quality and demand. In summary, there is no combined 1977 to 1976 coin. Instead, you are likely referring to either the bicentennial 1776 to 1976 dollar or the regular 1977 Eisenhower dollar. Both coins are part of the same historical series and share common themes of leadership, unity, and national pride. Through the portrait of Dwight D. Eisenhower, the symbolic imagery of the moon landing, and the inscriptions "Liberty, in God We Trust," and "E pluribus unum," these coins represent an important era in the history of the United States, a time when the nation honored its past while celebrating its achievements in the modern world.